Hi everybody, this is Frankie from Bosque Mobile Bicycle Repair. Today I'm going to be talking about bicycle spokes. How to thread the bicycle spokes with a special tool. My favorite tool. Okay, I'm going to have to sit down for this, so let's sit down. And if anybody's wondering why is my shirt partially wet, it's because there was a storm outside, so yeah, I was had to run out there and get something real quick. So yeah, this is a Hozan spoke threading tool made in Japan. This is my favorite tool. It's a very special tool. I fixed hundreds of bicycle wheels with this tool because, you know, a broken spoke can make your wheel really out of true. Just one broken spoke can, and if you have rim brakes, it can cause a lot of braking issues. So yeah, I love this tool. So yeah, it's Hozan. It's the C-700 spoke threading machine. Again, made in Japan. I believe this is cast iron steel. It looks like, I know it's cast because I could tell by the finish on it. I really like this tool. This is my favorite tool. Now this rolls on threads on a spoke. It doesn't cut into it. So people who are familiar with a tap and die set, a tap that removes material on a bolt, or the die removes mirror. I forget which one does which. Anyways, but it'll cut into the bolt to make threads, or it'll make a hole in a remove material. This rolls on the threads, so it will mold it, it will indent it. So if you ever get like your nail and you maybe like get like a piece of softwood, or you press your nail down into it and it leaves a dent in there, like a permanent little indentation, that's kind of like what this does. And these threads are stronger than cutting threads that are cut. So, and this threads a pretty significant amount of threads onto the spoke, more than you need. So, but yeah, can we get closer up on the head right here? Let me see right there. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's awesome. So this head, I'm gonna call this part the head right here. This can be removed by just unthreading this, and this is like the shaft part of it. And this is a head for a 14 gauge size spokes. So you can see 14 right here, the number 14. I was gonna say I didn't know what gauge spokes these were, but 14 gauge spokes are very common. You know, this is a single gauge spoke, so it's the same diameter all the way along the spoke. Now there's something called double butted spokes. Some say they're stronger. I don't really think so. I think they flex more. There's probably something beneficial to that, but I don't know. For most people, a single gauge spoke is just good enough. They also have bladed spokes. This machine only works with single gauge spokes. And if somebody has a broken spoke and they have double butted spokes, I'm just going to replace it with a single gauge. And 100% of the time, people don't really care. They just want their wheel fixed. So, yeah, I just roll on the threads. There's not a lot of information about this tool. There's not hardly any videos online about it. I think the manufacturer does have one video, but it's not a really good one. But yeah, I just thought I'd share this tool. So I have it in a this is called a what is it called? Drill press vise. So I have it in a vise. You have to put it in a vise, as you can see right here. So I put it in a vise. Have to clamp it down. You have to be very steady with this. I'm actually going to turn this around because I'm right-handed, and just wanted to get the logo in there so people can see it. I'm going to show you how to use this tool. So what I do is I buy very extra long spokes and I cut them to the appropriate size. So on one side is like, I call it the J hook, and you see the little J right there. Let me kind of center this right here. Should have put my hand right there. So there's like a little J end. That's the part that hooks into your hub, and the threaded part, of course, goes into the rim, and you thread on there, and that's where you thread the spoke. This is called a spoke nipple right here. Spoke nipple. These can be made out of brass or aluminum. I know it's a silver color, but it's brass. It's just coated with stainless steel, I think. Yeah, just stainless steel. So I just thread it on there like that. I always lubricate the threads with, I use Tri-Flow, but you can use, I don't know, you can use motor oil, sewing machine oil, doesn't matter. But I like to use Tri-Flow. I know some people use spoke prep, but that's really unnecessary. And I'm going to leave a link in the description to a book on wheel building if you'd like to learn more. But I've built 3 wheels in my lifetime, and I used, the book recommended just, you could use oil. So that's what I do. Okay. So what I do is I got these extra long spokes. I measure out the old spoke, and I put it together if it's broken, and then measure it out using this tool right here. It's a Park Tool spoke length gauge. Yeah, we do need to back out to see this. So let me see if we can get that. Okay, so this is a spoke length gauge. It's a very simple tool. Everything's in metric when you're measuring spokes. I think except, yeah, so it's metric. So in order to use it, we gotta put the J hook in here. So we're measuring from the bend to the appropriate millimeters. So like this one is 262 millimeters. If you don't have one of these spoke length rulers, it's going to be difficult, you know what I mean, to measure it, because it's going to be off by a millimeter or 2. You're going to have a steady hand. So yeah, these are measured in metric, not imperial. This ruler also, you can measure ball bearings with it too. That's what these holes are for. And actually the bearings are in imperial, which is kind of weird, because that's like one of the few things on a bicycle that's measured with imperial. So American measurement, but the rest of the world uses metric. Anyways, that's a little controversy. So I'm gonna thread right now. We can close up again a little bit. So now I'm gonna put, this is a blend. I cut this end. So when I cut the lengths, I cut the spokes with a what they call a linesman pliers. So this is a linesman plier. You can buy these at any hardware store. This one's a Craftsman. This one made in the USA. I don't know if they still make them in the USA, but I think they still have them. I bought this before Sears closed, actually. But electricians use them. So I cut the spoke, and I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't want this to fly and hit a camera. But yeah, I use lineman's pliers, and they work pretty good. You gotta have a little bit of hand strength with it. So anyways, I'm gonna thread this spoke, demonstrate how to do this. So there's a little groove in here, and this is the clamp right here to clamp down the spoke. Now when you're doing this, use cutting oil. I use Tri-Flow. I've used machine oil before. I've used I think, what else did I use? Yeah, I just mainly use Tri-Flow. Pretty good for everything. I don't use it to lubricate my chain. That's the only thing I don't use it for. And I like the little nozzle. It's like a precision little squirter on there. So you'll see me do that. So in order to use this, you got to move this all the way flush to the body. These little rollers right here, you got to push them all the way back. And they should be even all the way when you're rolling on the threads, but they're not going to stay even. One's going to be a little off, but it'll still work. So also wear some safety glasses when you're doing this. When you're cutting spokes, cutting metal, rolling on stuff, safety first. But let me see here. So I push these all the way back, and I'm going to lubricate it. A couple drops. Don't go crazy on it. Just a little bit. And so this is pushed all the way back. Can we get a little closer on this right here? little closer on this. This is the money shot right here. Okay, okay, wait. There we go. Okay. So you don't want to shove the spoke like super deep into the middle of it. You just kind of want to barely touch it, you know what I mean? So, and then you want to clamp this down pretty hard. And so what I'm going to do is, and now I'm going to start rotating it. I'm going to rotate it clockwise with a little bit of forward pressure, not a whole lot. Let's see, is it going in there? I haven't used this tool in a minute, but I don't think it's rolling. Yeah, it is. It's rolling on there. Let me see. Sorry if I'm moving a lot. Let's see. Hold on one moment. I think I messed up on it, but it's all good. I'm not gonna edit this. Like, let's see. It was working, but let's see. Actually, I don't think I had it centered. Yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta. I'm over here paying attention to the monitor. Okay. Let me see. Let's see if we got it now. I'm trying to get the money. Show me the money. It's not rolling on there. You know what? Sometimes I have to file the ends of the spoke. You know that? Let me see. Kind of, because it can't be too round. Too round. It has to be a little bit, because sometimes when I cut it, it gets a little bulbed. So I'm gonna file the outer parts. Kind of make it like a little chamfered on the ends. That's good. And a file, stainless steel, but it's a hard metal, but it can still be filed. You do got to use some manpower on it. But yeah, I do got to file it. I forgot about that. Because when you cut it, it kind of mushrooms a little bit at the end. Kind of, let's see. Yeah, that's one thing I used to always do after I cut my spokes, file them. Okay, there we go. Let's put this. Let's see. There we go. Look at this, a little bit more on there. There we go. Just needed to be filed a bit. And so you don't want to bottom out, because on the head there's you know, you don't want it touching. You don't want to go too far onto the spoke where it bottoms out, because you can damage the tool. And this part of the tool is expensive. I think they're like $80 or something like that. I don't know. This is really not a cheap tool. I'm talking a couple $100. So we got that. I think that's good enough. So what I do is I go back and forth twice to make sure that those threads are really smooth. Because after I'm done rolling on the threads, I'm going to test it with a spoke nipple. Spoke nipple right here. So yeah, the second time is going to be a lot more easier because the threads are already rolled on to the metal. Yeah, see, it almost bottomed out. Don't want to, when you get close to the end, you don't want to be using a lot of force. So, there you go. Now I'm going to take off that clamp. Okay, so I'm going to thread on a spoke nipple. Spoke nipple. I should clean this off actually, because sometimes there's some metal shavings on there. And I'll thread this on there. Yeah. I think this might not be a good spoke nipple. Might not be good threads, but let me see. Like, hold that shot. I'm gonna thread this one on there. Let me. I got one in the bag. Yeah, but yeah, there you go. That one I think is a little. Yeah, this one's better spoke nippled, because I have some damaged spoke nipples on there. So yeah, you just want to check the threads, make sure they're rolled on uniformly. You know, make sure it's deep. So I want to talk to you about something else too, and hold the shot, because it's gonna kind of be talking about it. But like towards the end of the threads, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. This one I don't think I threaded on too much. But with the whenever you're truing the wheel, see, it's really important to use the proper length spoke length, because when you go to true the wheel, you don't want the spoke protruding from the end of the spoke nipple, especially if you have a single walled rim, because that little piece of metal, even though it's protruding just like a millimeter out, can go through the rim strip and puncture your inner tube. So I see this a lot. A lot of times bike shops will not have this tool. I don't know why most of them don't have this tool. They'll spend more money on buying individual length spokes, and that costs way more money. And so they'll put the wrong spoke length in there. They'll use it because they don't have it the correct length, and the customer don't want to wait, and they don't want to make a buck, but they'll put the incorrect length in there, and it's going to protrude, and it'll puncture the inner tube. So yeah, that's why it's important to use the correct spoke length. If you have a double walled rim, it doesn't matter as much, but unless it's you can't thread it on there more in the wheel in order for the wheel to be true. So you can't what does it say? You can't tension that spoke enough because there's not enough threads on there, because the spoke is too long, or vice versa. Maybe the spoke length is too short and your the spoke is you don't thread it on there enough. So then that can actually you could rip you won't damage the threads on the spoke, but you'll damage the threads on the spoke nipple. It'll actually pop off of the spoke nipple and damage the threads. But yeah, so that's how you thread on a that's how you put threads on a spoke right here. And yeah, if it's not proper, like it's not threading on there right, you could just put it on there. Put it on there again, lubricate, and re-thread on. Sometimes it takes 3 times to put on the threads. Just go on there. It's time consuming, a little time consuming, but I mean, you could fix wheels very fast. And I know most of you are not going to go run out and buy this tool, but I thought it was something cool to share. It's a very, very, very good tool to use to for for fixing bicycle wheels. If you got bladed spokes, you're SOL. You're gonna have to wait 2 weeks for the bike shop to order the threaded the what is it called, the the correct size spoke for your wheel. But yeah, that's why I don't recommend I mean, if you're a racer, yeah, go for it, spend the money, but you're gonna be spending Tabuku money, for a lot of money for what is it called, for spokes replacement, waiting time. This, see, now it threads on really good. Sometimes you gotta do it 3 times. 3rd time's a charm, like I always say. So it should thread on smoothly. Like I said, I lubricate the threads with oil. I don't put spoke prep. It's kind of like Loctite for wheels, but yeah. And also another thing, if your wheel has aluminum spoke nipples, they can be easily stripped. So be careful when you're truing your wheel. That's why I like brass nipples. They're more durable. They don't round off as easily. So yeah, that's pretty good. Let me see what else I got to say. Sometimes if it's a double walled rim, and you can use a flathead screwdriver to get in there and tighten it up. But you want to be fancy, you can use this tool right here. Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. This is I don't know what this is called. I don't know, spoke nipple threader tool. It's made by Park Tool, that's all I know. And it usually has their specific tool number on there. But yeah, it doesn't. This one doesn't. So, but you know what it looks like. Very distinct looking tool. But yeah, anyways, let's go to the main camera, please. But anyways, thank you for watching my video. Check out, I got my website in the link in the description below. The link is in the description below. Anyways, I'm on 15 different social media platforms. Check them out. Got over 150 different videos. I hope you learned something, and ride safe, everybody. Thank you for watching my video.